الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده واستعينه واستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله أشهد أنه بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح للأمة فكشف الله به الغمة فاللهم اجزه عنا خير ما جزيت نبيا عن أمته ورسولا عن دعوته ورسالته اللهم لا تحرمنا أجره ولا تفتنا بعده اللهم اجمع بيننا وبينه يوم القيامة يا أرحم الراحمين ثم الوصية عباد الله تقوى الله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا وليخشى الذين لو تركوا من خلفهم ذرية ضعافا خافوا عليهم فليتقوا الله وليقولوا قولا سديدا وبعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدى هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, inshallah, we continue the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, where he stated, as Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated, 7 that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shade. Under his shade there will be no shade but the shade of his throne. We talked about al-Imam al-Adil, a just ruler. We talked about شاب نشأ في طاعة الله, a young man who is raised in worshipping Allah. We talked about 2 men who love one another for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And today, inshallah, we would like to discuss one of these characteristic of this type that the Prophet ﷺ had mentioned. Some of the ulama rahimahumullah said that this was the easiest way to enter under the shade of Allah. But indeed, when you look at it, it's very hard. Even though they consider one of the easiest from the 7, if you really want to be under the shade of Allah. What is that characteristic? A man, as the Prophet said, وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ. A man whom his heart is connected to the masajid. The ulama says, وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ. The word mu'allaq in Arabic means hanging. So when the Prophet ﷺ said that a man whose heart is hanging in the masjid, Ibn Hajar rahimahullah ta'ala said this could mean two things. His heart is hanging in the masjid like those lights that you guys hang up today in the masajid. They don't leave the mosque. The other word in the other explanation for the word mu'allaq means connected. And the word mu'allaq came from the connection with love. Someone is connected or attached to something. So this person, his heart is one of two. Either connected to the masajid, meaning does not want to leave the masjid, or his heart is connected with love, that his heart is attached to the masjid. The ulama says this is the easiest to gain, but if you look at it, reality, it's very hard. The Prophet ﷺ was the most whom his heart was connected to the house of Allah. And if you really want to know that, the scholars have given a very beautiful description. They said a believer's heart, or a believer in a masjid, like the fish in the ocean. If you take the fish out of the ocean, most likely they are dead. They can't leave the water. That's a Muslim in the masjid. And a hypocrite in the masjid is like a bird in a cage. If you open the cage, the birds start flying. That's how you know if your heart is connected to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ said, أَحَبُّ الْبِلَادِ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَسَاجِدُهَا وَأَبْغَضُهَا إِلَى اللَّهِ أَسْوَاقُهَا. The best places on earth that Allah loves the most are the mosques, the masajid. Masajid here doesn't mean literally a mosque, it means a place of worship. So a masjid is what is meant at first place. The most beloved to Allah are the mosques. And the worst that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dislikes are the markets. And the reason for that, not that it's haram to go to the market or to go shopping. No, it's that people are very distracted from the ibadah of Allah. That's why the Prophet ﷺ says if a person enters a market and he says a certain dua, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu ala kulli shay'in qadir. If you say this dua, your sins will be drops and your reward, your rents will be giving higher till you leave the market. Why? Because nobody does that. When people go shopping, they're focusing on what they want to buy, where they want to get it, how much, and they're excelling on buying. And imagine someone in the middle of the market is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a rare place of the remembrance of Allah. That's why the masajid are the most beloved to Allah. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, first thing that he did, and this is very important, especially in this country where we're living today. Masajid here are not just a place where you come and pray and leave. Your heart must be connected to the masjid, because almost this is the only place where the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is completely fulfilled. If your heart is connected to the masjid, then when you enter the masjid, and you leave your heart behind in the masjid. So when you look for your heart outside, that you're distracted in dunya, you remember that you're leaving something behind. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a reward for those people who are connected to the masajid. There is one of the greatest rewards. He said, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إن الله عز وجل, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يتبشبش لعبده, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would smile or be happy with his servant. Who's he? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a person, من كان موطنه مسجدا, if a person, his residency is in the masjid, meaning that as if you see him, you think he has no other place to go to except the masjid. When a Muslim comes to the masjid, their goal is to be the first to enter, last to exit, not the other way around. Nowadays, if you look at majority in general, when Muslims enter the masajid, they are the last to enter and they are the first to exit. They pray by the door because they want to run away. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala smiles to those who are connected to the masajid, that it becomes like their houses, even better than their houses. قال كما يبش أحدكم لغائبه, as one of you would greet with a smile a person who's been away for a long time. Imagine you have a relative, a father, a mother, a son, a friend that you haven't seen for years, traveling, and now you heard that he's back. The way you're greeting him in this dunya is the same way that Allah will greet, and more, without description, that Allah will greet those people who make the masajid as their residency. Not that they live in the masajid, they live their work, they don't go to school. That's not what he meant. But the Prophet says their heart is connected to the masajid. Means that their body will exit the masjid, but their heart stays in. And when your heart stays into the masjid, that means your behaviors outside of the masjid is connected to your heart. Your manners outside of the masjid is like your heart inside of the masjid. So you're always a person in a form of ibadah, in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's life. When he first came to Medina, he started the Masjid Quba. And he built that masjid, which was the first masjid to be built in Islam. And then the Prophet ﷺ told them that this is your masjid where you need to establish your prayers. A few days later, the Prophet went down to the inner city, the downtown of Medina, that is known now to be where his mosque is. And he built and established his mosque, which was the second mosque to be built in Medina, but was the first mosque to be that is the mosque of gathering, meaning that this is the mosque where Jum'ah was established. The other mosque that he built was only the regular prayers. Till now it became Jum'ah and so on. But this is the goal. Not only that, the Prophet ﷺ, when he wanted to build his house or his rooms, he didn't choose away from the masjid, he chose to be right next to the masjid. Why? Because he fulfilled that وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he mentioned the people who are connected to the masajid, he called them true men. Big difference between two things: male and men. When you write in the application, you check either male or female, it's just representing the sexual side of you, who you are. But true men, who's considered to be men, as some of the scholars used to say that there are, when he saw Aisha radiallahu anha and other women, he says that there are more women in Islam that are better than men. If I were to call them men, nobody would blame me for it. Real men. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال. In houses where Allah is remembered the most, houses of Allah. and he's being supplicated, or people supplicate in these houses morning and night, Fajr and night, first prayer, last prayer, or first prayer and Asr prayer. من المؤمنين رجال قال الله عز وجل في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله وإقام الصلاة. He says, in these mosques are true men. And when Allah mentioned the word men, He's trying to tell every one of us, be a man. A true man. Not someone who grows muscles. Not someone whose voice changes and becomes loud. A true man is those whom Allah mentioned. He says in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala where salah is established, the remembrance of Allah is established, people come together to remember Allah, and this is the best place. In it, true men. You will find true men in the masajid. When the Prophet ﷺ wanted to start this ummah, he started it from the masjid. Everything happened in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. The masjid of Rasulullah was the university. The masjid of Rasulullah ﷺ was the school for kids. The masjid of the Prophet ﷺ was the gathering of the Sahaba. The Masjid of Rasulullah ﷺ was the shelter for the homeless who could not find places. The Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ where he started the wars and treaties and peace treaties. The Masjid of the Prophet was everything. And this is where we need to bring back the role of the masajid. In it, true men are raised. If we don't establish, people think establishing masajid is by building a very nice, beautiful building, very nice decoration, very nice dome and minaret, spending millions of dollars in it, looking good, and then you come to the salah, you find 3 people praying. Sometimes you find the imam praying, sometimes you find no one praying. That's not what Allah said by establishing the salah. إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. Indeed, the ones who guard them, the houses of Allah, Allah called them the guards of the houses of Allah. They don't come with weapons or fully weaponed to come to stand outside and protect the house. Allah didn't say that. إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ. Those people who completely fulfill the mosques of Allah are the people who believe in Him, believe in the Day of Judgment. They fulfill their rules and they fulfill the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon them. Commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to start getting close to the masajid. There is no success in this dunya or akhirah except those people who start here in the masjid. There is no unity of this ummah except if we're completely united. Real unity starts in the masjid, where the Prophet ﷺ established unity between the Sahaba. That's why the Prophet ﷺ gave a great reward for those people who build a masjid for Allah. Again, we already talked about the people who fulfill the masjid, and that's what Allah emphasized more in the Quran, more than the building itself. The structure itself is very easy to gain. What's in it is very hard to gain. The Prophet ﷺ says, if a person builds a house for Allah, مَنْ بَنَى لِلَّهِ مَسْجِدًا. 3 narration, the conclusion of the narration. مَنْ بَنَى لِلَّهِ مَسْجِدًا وَلَوْ كَمِفْحَصِ قَطْرٍ بَنَى اللَّهُ لَهُ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ. If a person builds a house for Allah, if a person helps to build a house for Allah, if a person joins to help to build a house for Allah, Man bana lillahi masjid. Whatever you spend $1, $2, $3 million, whatever you join to build a house for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to fulfill this house and the commands of Allah, even if it's a bird's house, like the size of a bird house. The bird, all they do is fly around, bring some ashes together, that's their homes. How much is that now? The ashes you could buy for $1 or $2. So the Prophet says, if you build the house of Allah, even in the size of a bird's house, كَمِفْحَصِ قَطَّاتٍ. Who will build your house in Jannah? Not Jibreel alayhi salam. Not the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. not Mikael, none of the angels. Rasulullah said, Ben Allah. Allah will build you a house in paradise. Imagine this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah guaranteed a house for a person in paradise. Not only a house, but a house that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself builds for him. Now you could spend $1 million, $2 million to build a house in dunya. It will equal nothing to the look of the house that Allah will build you. Not the house itself, just looking at it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised that for those people. Allah promised the ones who walk in the masajid. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من غدا إلى المسجد أو راح بنى الله له بيتا في الجنة كلما غدا أو راح. الغدو يعني صلاة الفجر والرواح يعني صلاة العصر على الراجح من أقوال أهل العلم. كما قال الله عز وجل حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين. The Prophet ﷺ says, whoever goes to the masjid in the morning and at night. Night here translated, some hadith explained as Asr prayer, some other hadith says Isha prayer. All the salawat are very important. But the Prophet says whoever goes to the masjid in the morning and at night, or before sunrise and during sunset, meaning at that time, walks to the masjid, every time he walks to a masjid, Allah builds him a house in paradise. Not total days he went to the masjid. Every time he goes to a masjid, morning and night, that's one house in Jannah. Second day, that's another house. Third house, fourth house. How many houses are we losing in Jannah? This is the meaning of the hadith. وَرَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ. A man whom his heart is connected to the masajid. Meaning that when he leaves, Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib radiallahu anhu, 20 years, never missed Takbiratul Ihram, never missed the first line in the Salah. Even during the time when the attack happened in Medina and they stopped people from going to prayers and they killed many people, the battle of Al-Harra, he could read about it, and the people were forced not to pray in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قال الراوي فكان سعيد يقوم في المسجد فيؤذن وحده ثم يقيم وحده ثم يصلي وحده ويقول هذا بيتي. He used to make adhan by himself, make iqamah, pray by himself, because people were afraid to come to the masjid, and he used to say, this is my house. If you want to look for me, you come look here. Sa'id was not sitting at the masjid 24/7. He had work to do, he had business to take care of, he was getting paid every month, he used to go to work, he was a judge. But if you want to look for him, then they tell you, go look in the masjid. You will find him. That's the person whom his heart is connected to the masjid, as the Prophet ﷺ said. These people whom their heart connected to the masjid, they become the neighbors of Allah in the Day of Judgment. Best neighborhood. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Allah yunadi yawm al-qiyamah. Allah will call upon people in the Day of Judgment. The angels are there. Allah tells them, قال فيقول الله أين جيراني? Where are my neighbors? The angels would respond, فيقولون يا رب من ينبغي له أن يجاوره? Who's this person that deserves to be your neighbor? Who's that person? فيقول الله عز وجل عمار المساجد. The people who established their prayers in the masajid. The people who fulfilled the masajid. The people whom their heart were connected to the masajid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the masjid a place to come 5 times a day. That you renew the relation between you and Allah, between you and the masjid. Now, dear brothers and sisters, we are lacking that. A person comes to the salah, if the iqamah is delayed 1 minute, they are very angry. Okay, salah is finished, they pray Maghrib. You might see them waiting in the parking lot talking to a friend or on the phone or texting or on their Facebook till Isha time. So why were you angry during Maghrib time? You were waiting for the Salah, but your heart is not connected to the Masjid. Your heart is connected to the outside. Your heart is connected to dunya now. But that's not the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After Fajr, he used to sit in the Masjid till sunrise. The Sahaba after him, they used to do the same thing. They would rush, they would compete with one another at who would come first to the Masjid, to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even at the death, during his death sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He passed out, and when he was awake, he said to Aisha, Asalla al-nas, did people pray? She said, no, Ya Rasulullah, they're waiting for you. So he said, get me ready. They got him ready, they got water for him sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he passed out. When he woke up again, he said, did people pray yet? She said, no, Ya Rasulullah, they're waiting for you. So he said, give me ready. Got water, made wudu, standing up, then he passed out. 3 times. Third time, he couldn't do it. So he said, tell Abu Bakr to lead Salah. So they told Abu Bakr to lead Salah. And he said, call Ali and Al-Abbas. Bring them. So they brought Ali and Abbas. What do you want, Ya Rasulullah? High fever. Aisha said, they carried him. And he was walking, he was dragging his feet, he couldn't even walk. Till they set him next to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and he did his salah. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There's someone whose heart is connected to the Masjid. This is our failure today. As Muslims, we only worry about how many masajid do we have. People brag about it and people say, MashaAllah, that this city has 50 masajid. Every masjid has one person praying. Have one masjid that gathered. This is the life of Rasulullah. It's not how many masajid do we have. It's how much we have established in these masajid. How much have we fulfilled the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. How much is our heart connected to the masajid. When you hear Hayya ala salah, your heart beats and you're running for it. Or you just say, inshallah, we'll make it later. That's someone's heart connected to the masjid. That's how you know if a person's heart's connected to the masjid. I'm not saying if a person has an excuse not to come to the masjid. I'm talking about people today without any decent excuse, missing the salah on purpose in the masajid or even outside of the masajid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify our heart. Make us among those people who their heart is connected to the masajid. Alhamdulillah wa kafa salatu wa salamun ala ibadihi al-mustafa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. Dear brothers and sisters, taking care of the masajid, and inshallah we'll continue the next khutbah. Forgive me for today, inshallah. We need to establish that, make it our week goal. This week, try our best to fulfill this characteristic. We bring our hearts back to the masajid, not our bodies. People today, they bring their bodies to the masajid, but their heart is outside. We need to do the opposite now. We need to bring the heart in. And maybe the body could run for dunya, no problem, but the heart is here. Meaning that you won't feel the tranquility and the peace and the mercy and the happiness unless you step into the masjid. If you're from the people who feel happy and they feel the tranquility and the peace and mercy, when they step outside of the masjid, then we have a problem. If you're from the people that you come in, you wait for the salah, you come for Maghrib, and you know that you're going to go home, sit down, watch TV or be on your computer till Isha time. You say, you know what, let's make my heart be connected to the masjid. From Maghrib to Isha, I'm staying in the masjid. From Asr to Maghrib, I'm staying in the masjid. From after sunset, from Fajr to sunrise, I'm staying in the masjid. I'm trying to make my heart be connected to the masjid. Really, there is no reason not to do so. The best places, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. The houses, the masajid, the houses of Allah is only for Allah. Meaning that these are the places where you come to completely worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that when you're coming to the masjid, you're coming to meet Allah. There is no other feeling that should be better than this. As the ulama rahimahumullah, when they used to enter the masjid, they said, the most that worries us is when the imam makes the salam. When he says assalamu alaikum. So they asked him, what do you worry about? He says, I am worried first that my salah is accepted or not. Second, am I going to be able to pray another salah or not? So I wish that the imam never does the salam. Today, I could say it very clearly, we have most Muslims in general, they are worried how much would the imam pray. Maghrib is 10 minutes. If the imam could make it 5, they'll be so happy. They have nothing to do. Not that they are rushing, they're going, they have nothing to do. It's just the salah becomes heavy. Being in the masjid, they come in, no sunnah. They leave, no sunnah. They come when the imam is almost done. They come when the imam is almost finished. And they joined. And they joined the imam in the last rak'ah. So they have 3 to make up for Maghrib or 4 for Isha. The imam prayed that for 5-10 minutes. He prays that in 1 minute. And he runs outside. But when he goes somewhere where he loves, when we socializing with his friend, they could sit, not only sit, astaghfirullah, they could stand under rain, talking, laughing, joking for hours. They have no problem. But that 5 minutes in the masjid is what worries them. That's not someone whom his heart is connected to the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us among those people whom their heart is connected to the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among the people who fulfill the responsibility and the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us in the masajid. Allahumma amin. Allahumma aghfir lana dhunubana wa israfana fi amrina wa thabbit ala al-haqqi aqdamana wa ansurna ala al-qawmi al-kafirin. Alhamdulillah.